Welcome back to the deep dive. This is where we sift through all those sources you send us, find the gold, and serve it up. Basically, it's your shortcut to getting up to speed without feeling buried.
Yeah, think of it as decoding the key insights for you.
And this time, you pointed us towards John Maxwell's Success 101. Our mission is to really unpack his ideas on success, failure, and, well, personal growth.
Right. The goal seems to be reframing success not as some finish line, but as, a continuous journey, something you're on right now.
Okay, so what can listeners expect to get out of this deep dive?
Well, we'll dig into Maxwell's specific definition of success, which is quite different. We'll look at failure in a new light, identify those crucial self-management skills.
Like managing yourself first.
Exactly. Then there's people skills, trustworthiness, huge factors, plus competence, tenacity, the need to keep learning.
Tackling the tough stuff too, right?
Absolutely. Becoming that indispensable go-to person, and even how to prepare for, stepping up to leadership. It's a roadmap for ongoing growth.
All right, let's jump in. Part 1, defining success. Where do we start? Maxwell seems to push back hard against the usual images, doesn't he?
Oh, definitely. That whole composite picture,
Yeah.
Bill Gates' money, Schwarzenegger's muscles.
Or Marilyn Monroe's glamour, Einstein's brain.
Right. He argues that chasing that is basically trying to be a bad copy of someone else.
And that gets in the way of finding your own path.
Completely. It stops you from developing your unique potential. That constant comparison is a real killer for personal growth.
Okay, so if that picture's wrong, what is Maxwell's definition? How does he make it more, well, personal and achievable?
He boils it down to 3 key things. First, knowing your purpose in life, really understanding why you're here.
Purpose, like finding your calling. He mentions Henry Kaiser, right, about setting an aim.
Yes, and Viktor Frankl's idea of a unique vocation fits right in. That sense that you have a specific contribution only you can make. It's foundational.
Okay, purpose first. What's number 2?
Second is growing to reach your maximum potential. It's about becoming the best version of yourself.
Like closing the gap between what you could be and what you are now. He quotes H.G. Wells on that, I think.
Exactly. And Henry Ford's observation that, most people don't use their full capacity.
Yeah.
It's a call to constantly improve, to keep developing.
Makes sense. Purpose, growth. What's the third piece?
The third element is sowing seeds that benefit others, making a positive difference.
So, contribution. Like Albert Schweitzer's idea about service being key to happiness.
Precisely. And Danny Thomas emphasizing what we do for others, not just what we get. It adds that vital dimension of impact beyond ourselves.
So purpose, growth, contribution. It's not an endpoint then. It's something you do daily.
That's the beauty of it. You can actually be successful today by focusing on these 3 things. It shifts success from the future to the present moment.
I like that. Much more actionable. Does he give any pointers on finding that purpose?
Yeah, the source has some great questions to ask yourself, like, what am I really searching for? Why was I created? Do I believe in my potential? And crucially, when do I start? The emphasis is on now.
Take action now. Okay. And for the growth part, reaching potential, he has principles for that too.
4 key ones. First, concentrate on one main goal. Focus. Like a laser, not a floodlight.
Requires sacrifice sometimes.
Often, yeah. You can't do everything if you want to excel at one main thing. Second, concentrate on continual improvement.
Like Sam Walton, always getting a bit better.
Exactly that. Small, consistent steps add up over time. Relentless improvement.
Okay, focus, continuous improvement. What else?
Third, forget the past. Don't let past mistakes or failures hold you back. Jack Hayford's quote about the past being a canceled check is powerful.
Like Booker T. Washington or Helen Keller overcoming huge obstacles.
Yes, those examples show your past doesn't define your future potential. And the 4th principle.
4th is focus on the future. Keep looking ahead. Yogi Berra's funny quote aside, the point is your potential lies ahead readily.
Always. No matter your age or achievements, there's always room to grow. Keep that forward momentum.
So these principles guide the growth, but you need a direction for that growth, yeah? This leads to the idea of having a dream.
Right. Without a dream, it's like being on one of those cruises to nowhere, Maxwell mentions. Lots of activity, maybe, but no real progress towards a meaningful destination.
Just drifting. So identifying and chasing a dream is essential.
Absolutely fundamental, he argues. It connects directly back to finding your purpose and growing your potential. It's about finding your destiny, as Henry Ford put it.
And this dream, it's not just wishful thinking, it has real benefits.
Oh yeah, very practical benefits. First, it gives direction, your personal compass. Without it, you might just be running in place.
Keeps you on track. What else?
Second, it increases potential. A big dream makes you see possibilities you wouldn't otherwise. It stretches you. Remember that E. Paul Hovey quote, "Your world expands with your vision."
Right, expands your horizons. Third,
Third, it helps prioritize. Suddenly, it's easier to say no to things that don't align with the dream. You stop trying to spin too many plates.
focuses your energy. Good point. How does it affect everyday work?
That's the fourth benefit.
Mm.
It adds value to our work. Even boring tasks feel meaningful if they're part of a bigger, important picture, like that story of the construction workers.
The ones building a cathedral versus just laying bricks?
Exactly. Same work, totally different perspective and motivation. And finally, fifth, a dream predicts our future.
Predicts. How so? Like fortune telling.
No. More like actively chasing a dream shapes your choices and actions today, which dramatically increases the odds of achieving something significant tomorrow. You're actively creating your future.
So a dream is the engine. He gives examples like Demosthenes, Beethoven, people who overcame huge hurdles because of their dream.
Powerful examples.
Mhm.
Shows that a strong inner vision can overcome almost anything. Like Oliver Wendell Holmes said, it's about the direction you're moving.
Okay, purpose, dream, growth principles. But that path isn't smooth. Let's talk failure. It stops so many people. What's Maxwell's take?
Crucial topic. He tackles it head on. Quotes Edison about expecting success without struggle being, well, conceited. He reframes failure.
Wow. Not as the enemy.
Exactly. More like the price you pay for success, the tuition fee for achievement.
The price of success. Interesting. And he lists things failure isn't to help shift our view.
Yes, 7 key things.
Mhm.
First, failure is not avoidable. Everyone messes up. To err is human, right? It's just part of learning.
Okay, so stop trying to be perfect. What's second?
Second, it's not an event. It's a process. Like success. You haven't truly failed until you quit trying.
More like a journey point, not the end. Third.
Third, failure is not objective. It's subjective. How you see it and respond matters most. What looks like disaster to one is a lesson to another. Think of entrepreneurs failing multiple times before succeeding.
Right, it's about perception and resilience. Fourth point.
Fourth, it's not the enemy. It can actually be helpful. Rick Pitino called it fertilizer for growth. Adversity can build strength.
So embrace the lesson, maybe.
Fifth, failure is not irreversible. Mistakes don't have to be permanent. That Texas saying about spilled milk but still having the cow, you can recover.
Bounce back. Okay. Sixth.
Sixth, it's not a stigma. Making a mistake doesn't define you forever. Senator Irvin said defeat can shake the soul and let the glory out. Don't let shame stop you from trying again.
Not a permanent label. And the last one, number 7.
Seventh, and this is big, failure is not final. Even huge public failures, he uses the new Coke story.
Yeah. Massive flop.
Huge, but Sergio Zyman, the guy behind it, wasn't finished. Coca-Cola's CEO even rehired him later. Shows that even big setbacks aren't necessarily the end.
Wow, that's a powerful story. So the idea is don't fear failure, maybe even welcome it, like that manager with the mistake quota.
Exactly. Normalize it. Make it okay to try things and not get them right the first time. It encourages learning and innovation, takes the pressure off.
Okay, new perspective on failure. So we understand success, dreams, failure. How do we actually start putting this into practice? What's step 1?
Maxwell is crystal clear. Lead yourself exceptionally well. That's the foundation.
Leading yourself, meaning
It's not just making good decisions. It's making a few key decisions about the important areas of your life, and then this is crucial, managing those decisions day in, day out. Discipline, follow through.
like the New Year's resolution to exercise. Easy to decide, hard to keep doing.
Perfect example, gyms in February, right? That gap between deciding and managing is where most people fall down. Maxwell outlines 7 areas for self-management.
7 areas. Let's go through them. First up, managing emotions.
Yes, not suppressing them, but understanding them and choosing when and how to express them appropriately. Thinking about the impact on others.
Like General Franks in that war situation, putting the mission first.
Exactly. Emotional discipline for the greater good. Putting others first often guides that.
Okay. Second area.
Manage your time. How much you value your time reflects your self-esteem, according to M. Scott Peck. And Spezzano's idea that we pay with time, not money.
Makes you think about what's really worth spending your life on.
Oh.
Okay, third.
Manage your priorities. Focus is key.
Yeah.
That proverb about chasing 2 rabbits. You catch neither. Use things like the 81-55 rule.
And Jim Collins' stop doing list. I like that. Get out the fluff.
Precisely. Ruthless focus on what matters most. Fourth area,
Fourth is manage your energy. Know your peak times. Identify your main event for the day.
And watch out for those ABCs of energy drain he talks about. Activity without direction, burden without action, conflict without resolution. Those zap you.
Ah, the ABCs. Good to be aware of those. Fifth area.
Manage your thinking. What you put in your mind matters. Combat busyness. Carve out dedicated think time.
Like having a specific thinking chair and an agenda, being intentional about reflection.
Very important. Sixth area.
Manage your words. Choose them carefully. John Wooden's quote about character over reputation fits here. Words have power.
Huge power. And that story about David McKinley learning to listen more. Crucial lesson.
Yeah, definitely. And the final area, number 7.
Manage your personal life. Your foundation. Neglect your personal life, your health, your family, and everything else suffers eventually. Success means being loved and respected by those closest to you. Family first.
That's a powerful definition. So mastering these 7 areas, that's the bedrock for everything else.
Absolutely. Self-leadership first. Then you can start thinking about influencing others.
Which brings us to working with people. How important is that?
According to Maxwell, the most important ingredient for success. Period. Doesn't matter if you're a CEO, teacher, salesperson, parent.
Yeah.
You need good people skills.
He uses that poem, right? Which are you? Lifters versus leaners.
Yes, Ella Wheeler Wilcox. A good starting point. But he goes deeper into 4 types of people in relationships.
4 types. Okay, what are they?
First, the adders. These are the lifters. They intentionally add value, support, positivity. You enjoy being around them. Like D.L. Moody said, do all the good you can.
The people who make things better. Got it. Second type.
The subtractors. They diminish others, often without meaning to. Maybe they complain a lot, don't pull their weight. They make burdens heavier.
Unintentional, maybe, but still draining. Third.
Third, the multipliers. These are the real gems. They intentionally and strategically help others grow and succeed. They amplify potential. Highly valuable people to have around.
They actively elevate others. Nice.
Nice.
And the last type, likely not so nice.
The dividers. Unfortunately, yes. These people actively try to tear others down, create conflict, undermine things, often for their own ego. Best to avoid them.
Like that story of the boss sabotaging his successor. Toxic.
Very. So the goal is clearly to be an adder, or ideally a multiplier, a lifter.
How do we become more of a lifter? Any tips?
He gives a few. Commit to daily encouragement. Understand the small things that help versus hurt. Initiate positive interactions, even in negative places like Ben Franklin and that book trick.
Ah, turning a rival into an ally.
Yes.
Clever.
And remember, life isn't a dress rehearsal. Do good now. Be intentional about lifting others daily.
Be deliberate. Okay. Now, closely related to people skills is trust. Maxwell calls it the foundation.
The absolute foundation of all relationships. He uses that incredible story of Bill Lear and the Learjet crashes.
Grounding the whole fleet must have cost a fortune.
Immense cost. But his commitment to integrity and safety, even risking his company, built incredible long-term trust. Character revealed in crisis.
Crisis reveals character, doesn't build it.
Right.
So what are the key aspects of character Maxwell highlights?
4 main things. 1, character is more than talk. Actions prove it. 2, talent's a gift. Character's a choice. You build it daily. 3, character brings lasting success with people. Trust follows character. 4, people can't rise above the limitations of their character. Think of those 4 A's. Burglas talks about arrogance, aloneness.
Adventure-seeking, adultery. Yeah. Pitfalls for successful people without strong character. So how do we actively build character?
Maxwell suggests practical steps. Search for the cracks, be honest about your weak spots. Look for patterns in your mistakes. Face the music, own up, apologize, accept consequences, and rebuild, make a plan to avoid repeating the error.
Like the little girl wanting to be bigger on the inside than the cotton candy, striving for internal substance.
Exactly, deep integrity. Now, moving from character to capability. How skilled are we? Competence, Franklin's quote. To hit the mark, aim above it.
And Ben Franklin himself is the prime example, right? Printer, scientist, diplomat, incredibly competent.
Amazingly so. His competence across so many fields was the key to his influence. It wasn't just innate genius.
Yeah.
It was relentless self-improvement and mastering skills.
A true polymath. So how do we raise our competence level? 5 ways.
Yep. 1, show up every day, mentally engaged, ready to perform. 2, keep improving. Always ask why. Strive to get better. 3, follow through with excellence. Quality in every task. 4, accomplish more than expected. Go the extra mile. And 5, inspire others to be competent too.
Consistent effort, growth mindset, commitment to quality. Makes sense. He asks, how competent are you? Categorizing people.
Right. Can you see what needs doing? Can
Yeah.
you do it? And crucially, can you make it happen when it counts, under pressure? Those are different levels.
The clutch players. How to improve.
Get your head back in the game if you've drifted. Redefine your standard. Raise your own bar. Find 3 specific ways to improve research, invest time, maybe money. Remember, you're only as good as your private standards.
High internal standards. Okay. Next key ingredient. Persistence. Quitters never win.
And winners never quit.
Hmm.
Classic. And he tells that great story about getting the Abbey Road photo.
Oh, yeah. The street was closed for construction.
Totally blocked.
Yeah.
But they didn't give up. They persuaded the workers. It wasn't talent or luck. It was pure tenacity that got them the shot.
Great illustration. So what does working with persistence really mean?
3 things. 1, give all that you have, 100% effort. Not necessarily more talent, but full commitment. Like George Washington, respected even by his enemies for his perseverance.
Full effort.
Okay.
2,
2, work with determination, not waiting on destiny. Don't rely on luck. Keep pushing through difficulties. Think Edison and the light bulb, thousands of tries.
keep working, don't wait. 3,
3, quit when the job is done, not when you're tired. That gorilla wrestling analogy, you stop when the gorilla is done. Napoleon Hill said success often comes just after you feel like quitting.
push through that final barrier. Got it. How do we become more tenacious?
Work harder and most smarter. Connect your work to a bigger purpose. Stand for something. Make it a game, maybe. Add some friendly competition.
Practical tips. And that story of building the railroad over the Andes, Malinowski.
Incredible feat of engineering and sheer human will. A testament to what tenacity can achieve against impossible odds.
Amazing. Okay, persistence is key. What about learning? Maxwell says the day you stop growing.
Is the beginning of the end of your success. Crucial point. He uses Charlie Chaplin as an example.
Chaplin, huge star, but known for learning.
Absolutely. His massive success was fueled by constant learning, adapting, perfecting his craft. Even at his peak, he was studying audiences, trying new things. That's why he lasted and evolved, unlike many other silent stars.
Teachability kept him relevant and successful. Led him to co-found United Artists too, right? Learning business.
Exactly. So why is this continuous growth vital? Because growth determines who you are, who you attract, and the success of your whole team or organization. You have to keep learning.
How do we maintain that teachable attitude? 5 guidelines.
Yes. 1, cure your destination disease. Don't think learning stops when you reach a goal. Ragnarok.
As long as you're green, you're growing.
As soon as you're ripe, you start to rot. Love that. 2,
2, overcome your success. What got you here won't necessarily get you there. If yesterday still looks big, you haven't done much today. 3, swear off shortcuts. Real growth takes effort. 4, trade in your pride. Be willing to admit you don't know everything and make mistakes. And 5, never pay twice for the same mistake. Learn the lesson the first time. Great advice. That feed store sign analogy, reap what you sow, applies to our learning habits too.
Definitely. Are you sowing seeds of growth? How's your reaction to mistakes? Are you trying new things? Learning even in your strength?
Like that bull rider, Tuff Haidman, still getting coaching after winning championships.
Perfect example. Never too successful to learn more.
Okay, constant learning. Now, Maxwell shifts to taking things up a notch. Part 3, achieving success at the next level, starting with, am I willing to do the tough jobs?
Yeah, that whatever it takes attitude, like
Yeah.
David Livingstone wanting people willing to come even without a good road. Leaders value that willingness to tackle hard things.
What are some of those tough things successful people do? He lists 10.
10 of them. Willingness to. Take the tough jobs. Earns respect. Pay their dues. Sacrifice. Work in obscurity. Integrity test. Succeed with difficult people. Essential skill. Put themselves on the line. Calculated risks. Admit faults. Never make excuses. Focus on solutions. Do more than expected. Serendipity. Be first to step up and help. Builds influence. Perform tasks, not their job. Big picture focus. And take responsibility. Accountability.
That's a solid list. Shows initiative and commitment. J.C. Penney's quote about drenching yourself in work beyond the average.
Really captures that extra level of dedication needed for high achievement. Which leads to the next question. Am I ready to step up my game, becoming a go-to player?
The person everyone relies on, the catalyst.
Exactly. The one who always delivers. Maxwell says they produce in 6 key situations.
6 ways go-to players produce. What are they?
1, when the pressure's on, they thrive. 2, when resources are few, they're resourceful. 3, when momentum is low, they're momentum makers. 4, when the load is heavy, they step up to help the leader. 5, when the leader is absent, they show their capability. And 6, When time is limited, they deliver under deadlines.
Consistent delivery under challenging circumstances. That story about Rod Loy quickly creating a plan when asked to lead a new program.
Perfect example of stepping up instantly and effectively, being ready.
So being a go-to player is crucial. And the final step, am I ready to lead at the next level?
The ultimate progression, and the key insight here is, you move up by leading others to success where you are now.
It's not just about your own performance.
No. Growing organizations look for people who elevate others too. Your track record of developing your team is critical. He gives 5 principles for this.
5 principles for leading to the next level.
1. Leadership starts where you are. Focus on current responsibilities. 2. Skills are the same, but the league changes. Higher levels demand more sophisticated skills. 3. Handle small responsibilities well first. Prove yourself. 4. Current leadership creates your resume for the next level. Performance now matters most. And 5. Leading volunteers well is the ultimate test. If you can lead people who don't have to follow, you can lead almost anyone.
Leading volunteers. That's a tough gig. Really tests influence. That quote sums it up nicely. Leadership is action, not position.
Donald McGann, exactly. It's about what you do, your influence. Right now, that's what prepares you.
Wow. Okay, so wrapping this deep dive up, Maxwell's Success 101 really paints success as this dynamic journey. Purpose, growth, contribution, continually.
It's not static. It's about how you define it personally, how you navigate the inevitable bumps, the failures, and the qualities you cultivate. Self-leadership, people skills, competence, tenacity, teachability.
And that willingness to step up, do the tough things, become reliable, and ultimately lead others.
Absolutely. We hope this gave everyone listening some concrete things to think about.
Yeah, definitely food for thought. So maybe a final question for our listeners to chew on. Reflecting on all this purpose, failure, self-management, people skills, tenacity, learning, stepping up, which one of these areas feels like your next growth edge right now?
Good question. Where does your focus need to be for your next step on that success journey? Which quality warrants your immediate attention for, deeper exploration? Something to consider.